So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Welcome to I've Had It. What do I say? What do I say?
Oh my God. Do you have dementia?
Don't you always introduce us?
I can't even believe this moment, listener.
What do you
do? What do you do? What have you done?
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I was waiting for you.
Well,
I do have dementia. I don't think there's any question about that.
Oh my God. That's what happens in Trump's America.
That's right.
That's what happens. She's sitting there clueless, like she has never done this before in her life, waiting for me. And I'm sitting there waiting for her because everybody knows it's the clap heard around the world from Judge Judy Diana, me mom, me Curtin Law, all the stuff. And you just completely forgot.
I totally spaced it. Like it's never even remotely came into my head. Like I'm looking at you like, what the fuck's wrong with her? Yeah.
All right, let's try this one. Patriots, Gaytriots, Theytriots.
That one I got.
All right.
That one I got.
Welcome to America's favorite DEI podcast.
We are DEI hires.
Yeah, we only have one heterosexual man that works for us, but we almost think he could qualify as a lesbian because he threw his cat a birthday party over the weekend.
Yes. And if that doesn't scream lesbian, I don't know what is.
I mean, that's pretty gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Pumps, what have you had it with? If you remember the name of our podcast, it's I've Had It. And this is the part, my love, where you tell us what's been bothering you this week.
Luckily for me, that's just right of top of mind because what I've had it with is Jennifer Denise Welch and Kylie Ann Josie. Mm-hmm. I am so mad. Okay, so we did some podcasting this morning before this.
Yeah.
After Jennifer and I go to lunch and we sit across the table from each other.
Yep.
After Kylie stares into my eyes for 3 fucking hours, I go into the bathroom and again, my eyeliner is down around my nostrils and I think, what the fuck is wrong with these people? You know I can't see myself sitting in here. Why don't you tell me? And Kylie, I told you I started using that new makeup and it made me feel shiny and I felt like stuff was dripping. I told you that yesterday. Did I get, hey, Ange, take the eyeliner up under your eye? No. We sat across from each other at lunch. Just the two of us staring into each other's eyes. Did you say anything? Like, hey, Pumpkin Dumpkin, wipe under your eyes. No, not a fucking word. So I have been running around like somebody beat me up until just now. So I've had it with Kylie and Jennifer.
Okay. I thought that you in Trump's America, eyeliner seems to be all the rage, that you were like doing the JD Vance look. And so I just thought, okay, if you can't beat them, join them. You go ahead, Meemaw. But my apologies. I didn't know that I was to nitpick your makeup.
Not nitpick. It was down, like way down. It was way down. I tell you, your hair's sticking up. Do a blotter. I'm always looking out for everyone. What do I get? Fucking nothing. Fucking nothing. That's what I've had it with. Seth, the male lesbian is the only one that's safe right now.
Do you think you should go ahead and tell him what happened at lunch this morning?
Oh, God. Of course, I've blocked that out. Okay. So it wasn't bad enough that last week we had to go to the doctor and the doctor said twice she was athletic. It just was cringeworthy. So today where we're sitting across from each other at lunch, where she is looking at me with eyeliner down to my nose, this server comes over that wasn't our server. So it wasn't like for a tip thing. This was a spontaneous compliment. She goes, you are just so beautiful. I just saw you and I just want you to know, I mean, I don't know how old you are, but when I get to be your age, I want to look just like you. You're just so pretty. And honestly, I threw up in my mouth a little bit. And I just looked at her and I go, are you kidding me right now? We had to do this?
You guys.
And then, no. It gets better. So then Jennifer tells her about the doctor saying that she had an athlete's heart rate.
Yeah.
And then she brings the people in the booth next door over and says, oh, yeah, she just came over and told me how pretty I was.
No, here's what happened. The booth across from us, I know these ladies.
I know.
And so they were like, hey, ladies. And I go, hey, did y'all just hear what that waitress just said to me?
I said, you brought them in.
Do I have any more witnesses to this? And here's the thing. You know, in Trump's America, and you're 50 years old and you're trying to run this DEI podcast, when somebody comes over and tells you look good, because we just get ripped in the comment section. I mean, ripped. I'm just glad that I had 3 witnesses to it. And I'm going to tell you what, everything, maybe good news comes in threes. So maybe there's another time and you're going to be witness to it.
Yeah. I mean, God, what can the next one be? Because this woman went over your hair, your skin. I mean, she did a breakdown of the beauty.
It was a real detailed compliment.
It was a real detailed compliment.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
If you would have been a peacock, all your feathers would have been up.
Oh, I was a silverback gorilla, baby. I mean, totally. Okay. All right. Let me tell you guys what I've had it with. So I've had it with my husband and my 2 kids disappearing forks in my house.
Oh, I've had that.
Okay. So I noticed about 2 or 3 years ago when I was putting the dishes away that we were short on forks. And I'm talking about 6 or 7 forks. And these are, metal forks. These aren't plastic. These are the kind that you use, you put in the dishwasher, and you put back in the drawer. So I confront my family and I'm like, I believe that somebody in this house is throwing away forks or taking forks out of this house and not returning them to this house because we're short like 6 forks. They all minimize. They all ridicule.
Right.
Nobody takes me seriously, right? Well, now bring it to 2025 and we're about 10 forks down. Okay. So that means we probably have about 8 to 9 left in the silverware drawer.
Right.
So, and I just refuse to buy anymore. I'm not going to enable this type of fork abduction on my watch. Okay.
In Trump's America, forks are abducted.
Right. It is. And so Roman comes into my room the other night, and listener, Roman is my youngest son. And he comes into my room and he's like, "Hey, Mom, where are the forks?" And he has like a plate in his hand. And I go, "I don't know, Roman. You tell me." And he goes, are you up with this conspiracy theory about the forks again, Mom? I go, it isn't a conspiracy theory because where are the forks, Roman? They didn't grow legs and walk their skinny asses out of this house. You and your brother and your father have done something with them, and I want to know. One day, it was probably about 6 months ago, I opened up the trash and there was like a takeout box. Mm-hmm. And I saw this our silverware is like a matte black metal. And I saw this black thing sticking out the side of it. And guess what it was?
A fork.
Yeah. These MFers are throwing away our forks and trying to make me the asshole. And then when there isn't a fork available because they're all dirty in the dishwasher, they want to ask me where the forks are. And I just flip the script. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me where the forks are, Roman.
I love that he said, "Are you trying to make this a fork conspiracy?"
He was like, he looked at me and he goes, "Oh my God, are you back with this fork conspiracy theory thing again, Mom?" And I'm like, yeah, it is a conspiracy. All of you against the forks and me.
Right. Here's the thing. Someone might say, well, that's unusual. That doesn't happen. That same thing has happened at my house. I've had to replace a whole set of forks twice in probably 12 years. And you know what else I've had to replace? Steak knives.
Really?
I guess they just have something and they just throw it away. No, I'm completely with you, which is why I'm going to go on record yet again saying the empty nest is the best part of life.
You have all your forks? Are all your forks
all my
accounted
forks
for?
are accounted for. All my steak knives are accounted for. Everything's accounted for in my house.
Yeah. And when you think about these conservative commentators who try to belittle people that don't have children and make them feel bad and they're not worthy women and all this stuff. And I'll tell you what, I bet these childless cat ladies, I bet all of their forks are accounted for.
There's no question.
Ducks in a row, lined up, ready to just stick their hearts into things.
No, absolutely. That is one of many, many good things about the children no longer living in the house.
Welcome to I've Had It. It's a podcast, DEI podcast, hosted by myself. I'm Jennifer. Do you remember your name this morning?
I'm Angie, a.k.a. Meemaw Meat Curtains. She's Meemaw Drag.
She's the star of our show. And, I had decided since she turned 55 to loosen up a little bit on the ageist jokes and considering the faceplant at the beginning of this podcast.
That was bad.
I really feel like at this point it's full-blown elder abuse.
Well, I gave you reason though.
That was something. All right.
Did I tell you what my kids did to me at my birthday dinner?
Yes.
Okay. They told the waiter I was 60.
Yeah.
They thought that was hilarious.
That's just a real knee slapper. Okay. Kylie,
Yes, hello.
how are
I'm
you?
mad at you.
I know. I didn't even notice. Not even a little bit, the eyeliner.
I kind of did. I just thought, you know what? It's a J.D. Vance inspired smoky eye. J.D. Vance, I think he wants to do like a smudgy, like freshly fucked eyeliner, but he can't. So he just puts it right up there, you know? But I really think at the end of the work day, J.D. Vance goes home and it's like a full face of makeup. I just think he's dying
Running around in
to
Usha's
cross
underwear,
dress.
probably.
Oh yeah. He's got her panties on, running around, feather in his hair. And I bet he does, you know, like the little wing eyeliner where it comes out at a wing. And I bet he puts on some lashes.
100%. Very dark red lipstick. Yeah.
If the FBI wasn't like controlled by all of these great conspiracy theorists, maybe we could tweet them and have them go look. But I don't think anybody in this country is on our side anymore.
No. Mm-mm. Just the smart people. Seems
Just
to be
the smart ones.
fear of that.
Mhm. And I just want to give a shout out. We have a lot of listeners in Canada.
Yes.
And y'all are super nice people. And I just want all of you to know that we hate Trump as much as you do. And we recognize your sovereignty. And I just want to say this for the permanent record. It's always going to be the Gulf of Mexico.
Always. Always going to be the Gulf of Mexico. It's always going to be Greenland, not red, white, and blue land. And Canada will never be the 51st state. There, said it.
Kylie, do we have anything? What's going on the internet?
I actually do have a couple people that are with you, and I'm going to read them. This is a 5-star review
Okay.
from Dawn, and she says, "This podcast is how I'm planning to find more joy during these next 4 years. The caca opening is super annoying and almost made me shut down and stop listening. But if you can get past that ridiculous sound, this podcast is perfect for someone looking for company in airing petty grievances and finding community and sanity in this insane world."
Okay, here's what I want to say. What was that reviewer's name?
Dawn.
Dawn. Oh, interesting. Angela Dawn.
Angela Dawn.
Here's what I want to say about this. Do not belittle this woman's caca. She forgot at the beginning of this episode that she's supposed to clap, and we just have a few little tricks we roll out that she can do. You cannot take that caca away from her in Trump's America.
Yeah.
You've got to learn to embrace it. Listen up, liberals and progressives and leftists. You got to lock in on the caca. We're trying to like muster up just a little bit of camaraderie and oneness with nature.
I can't remember the clap. My caca gets slammed. It's just not my day.
I didn't have your back on the eyeliner.
No, you were just a dick.
I'm sorry, Pumps. Oh, God damn it. And that waitress was telling me how gorgeous I was and never said a word about you. Oh, God, I love you so much, Pumps. Kylie, what's next?
Okay, this one is 5 stars, titled #MAGA, our new home base. Patriots, I summon you here. You will not regret jumping in this living water well of unadulterated patriotic banter. Subscribe quick before Fox News snatches them up. God bless. #America, #MAGA.
Wow. I love it.
I love bringing them in.
Yeah, you got to
get 'em
just
fired up.
lure them in. This is a hotbed of facts.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And shit talking. Okay, I have a few news stories I would like to discuss that are not politically related. Again, I want to talk about how a lot of times on this podcast, we identify a hypothesis. And it's like it goes out into the internet. And then these scientists are like, I'm going to research that. And then they prove our hypothesis. We didn't have to pay a cent.
That's exactly what's happening.
Okay.
I'm confident.
Let me read this one to you all. People who hate small talk have higher IQs than those who don't mind it, study says. A study from the University of Virginia found that people who dislike small talk tend to have higher IQs, stronger abstract reasoning skills, and a preference for deep, meaningful conversations. The study found that individuals with an IQ above 120 were 67% more likely to say they find small talk, quote, mentally exhausting compared to those with an average IQ.
What is this, like the 4th or 5th article we've read recently that confirms we have to be really smart?
It's just the evidence is mounting and mounting and mounting. It's like, just, you know what? We're the DEI Mensa podcast. with a side of dementia from the star of
More
our
than
show.
a side.
Yeah.
And now I look in the mirror or the camera and I have like, I'm just
Listen,
falling apart.
I know lunch was hard on you today.
I'm rebounded from lunch. Haven't been able to rebound.
All right, one more story before we introduce our guest. And I always kind of thought this was true. And so I'm glad to know that the science again has us. This says dogs can count the number of treats you give. Your dog may not be a mathematician, but they definitely notice differences in quantity. A study by Emory University found that dogs can perceive changes in the amount of food they receive. So if you've ever questioned whether your pup noticed their sibling getting an extra treat, chances are they did. And I have to say, so I have these 2 French bulldogs, Tubby and Cha-Cha. Tubby is going to be 10 this year, and he's kind of, as older people, he was kind of thinning a little bit. And Cha-Cha is just, she could stand to lose a few, okay? So I always try to feed him a little more than I do her when I'm sharing like my meal, if I have like a chicken breast or something. And she looks at me and with this look, and I'm like, she knows that his bite was bigger because she looks at me like, are you serious, bitch?
Yeah. No, I get really bad. I give the dogs after breakfast in the morning, I give them each like a treat thing, like a chew thing. And I give Blaze 2 because he's 100 pounds. And I give Ollie 1. And Ollie always side eyes me with it, always. And I just thought I was getting by with it this whole time, but now I know I'm not.
They know. They do know. Okay, listen up. Today we have a guest.
I'm so excited.
We're gonna just shoot the shit with this guest. We're gonna drag out dead horses and beat them because in Trump's America, misery loves company. All right. And our company today is an Oscar-winning actress. Look at us. Oscar winner. Get the fuck out of here.
I've been a fan of her forever.
Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Oscar-winning actress and co-creator of new children's mindfulness podcast, Snorries, Marcia Gay Harden. Listener, this may come as a total shock to you, but Pumps and I have not always been this pulled together and rock solid. In fact, we used to be rather screwed up, wouldn't you say, Pumps?
I would say damn near psychotic.
Totally. And we have written a cell phone expose. One could even say it's a manifesto. And the book title is
Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches.
In all sincerity, we share a lot of our struggles that led us to this grand stage where we can talk about petty grievances. You can click the link below in the show notes to pre-order your copy now. I think one of the most important spring cleaning goals is to organize your sock drawer. Sometimes you have to have a funeral for the ones who have lost their mate.
That's right.
And it's also a time to buy fresh new socks for the spring season. If you're a runner, if you just want comfortable socks to run around or lounge around the house.
Bombas socks, whether they are the long socks or the footy socks, let me just tell you about these footy socks. They don't fall into your shoe like so many others. These stay exactly where you put them. I cannot recommend them highly enough.
Listener, the best part about Bombas, aside from how incredibly comfortable they are and how durable they are and the incredible high quality that these socks are, the best part is that for every comfy pair you purchase, Bombas donates another comfy pair to someone facing homelessness. Bombas is going international. Enjoy worldwide shipping for over 200 countries. Head over to bombas.com/hadit and use code HADIT for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/hadit, code HADIT for 20% off your first purchase. Bombas.com/hadit, and listener, be sure to use the code HADIT. This episode of I've Had It is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game, shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law, not available in all states. Marcia Gay Harden, welcome to I've Had It, a dump truck of petty grievances, and welcome to Asshole Island. This is the place where we are all going to get through Trump's America.
Awesome. I'm setting up a tent right now. I'm camping here.
Marcia, I know that you probably have a lot of great grievances, so tell us what you've had it with.
Oh, God, I've had it with so many things. I'm going to tell you what, this morning, this is what I had it with. That fucking backup beep, 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 beep on the dude's construction stuff that starts, by the way, they started at 7:24. So from 7:24 on, beep, 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 and then silence. And beep, beep. And then, you know, when it stops at 9. It stops at 9. You're like, oh, they're on their coffee break. I've had it with that. Just wait a little bit. Wait until 9 and then do the beep, beep, beep.
Marcia, you know what? When I'm really mad at my husband and we're just kind of into it, I'll say you're like one of those goddamn dump trucks going beep, 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 just dumping on me. And so I use that, like I relate that is so irritating. Only a life partner can get you that angry, somebody that you have to live and share life with. And I love my husband. Everybody knows I love my husband, but it wouldn't be normal to not like at some point be very irritated by the way the person breathes, which is the very essence of marriage, I think. So I totally relate to that.
I feel like they should make a new verb that's called dump trucking. You know how, like, for women, they used to always go, she's nagging. It's really the same thing. Is nagging. And for dudes, it should be you're dump trucking.
I love that.
That's a great one.
I think that is absolutely perfect. Okay. You emailed us some of your had-its, and some of these were just so good. We just need to go through them. I want you to share with our listener your grievance about automated robot appointments.
Oh, that one, when you're trying to make your mammo or your Quest diagnostic, or I just got that Grail test, you know, that can test for any kind of cancer. So you call and the person goes, yes, hello. And you have to say your name like 10 times. Yes, it's Marcia. Yes, Marcia. Yes, this is my birthday. Yes, it is. And by the time you get done with all the yeses, then they come in and they go, okay, now it's time to actually book the appointment. They go, oh, that appointment that you just booked is no longer available. You're like, because you just fucking made me say it 15 times. That's why it's not available. So then you have to go through the whole process again. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it just bugs the poop out of me.
That drives me crazy.
It's horrific. Anytime you try to call somebody in a customer service style setting, whether it's a doctor's appointment, an airline, and you're talking to a robot, I mean, there's nothing more relatable than seeing a person on a phone going, representative.
Yeah.
Representative.
That's me. The voice just escalates until you're just screaming at nothing, screaming at a robot.
Yeah, no, I just had that experience with the hotel. I was like pushing the buttons, representative, and they kept saying it was like an automated, well, you have to get on the website for this. Okay, well, I get on the website. No, you have to call. And I'm like, I want a fucking person. I want a live person. That's all I want.
That's all I want. I just want to speak to somebody who's kind as well. If they were kind, that would be helpful.
Okay. And you know what's so wild about this is this is a common sentiment. And if we take our petty grievances and then attach them to global grievances, right now, Elon Musk, unelected parasite, sucks off the federal government, all of our taxpayer money, is firing hardworking people. And then he's making them write out emails like what they've done the last few days. And he's going to have AI determine if these human beings deserve to keep their job or not.
Oh my God. I have not heard this, and that's absolutely heinous.
Yeah.
It hurts. That news hurts because you know it's not the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. It is literally inhuman.
It really is. It makes me, for a lot of people, they're not looking to be like super wealthy. They're looking for just a stable life, and they get a government job and they make good money. They have insurance, they have a pension, and they go clock in, clock out earnestly. And then you have this guy come in who's sucked off the government, with all of his companies, and all the government was investigating him. And so he goes and tries to shut down all of these places. And then thousands of people are losing their jobs, and he's going to let AI determine it. It's heartbreking. It's really heartbreaking.
You keep going back to what is the legality? What is the legality? And that's not my world. I don't know. I listen to you guys all the time. And I think, gosh, they're so informed. They know so much. What is the legality of all this? And when you've got a Supreme Court that is the highest, reach, you go, well, at least somebody up there. If only we had a Thurgood Marshall back, because at least he would say, well, it's not, it might be legal according to the law, but it's not legal we set the law according to a higher good, a higher understanding of right and wrong. And without someone like him up there, we don't have that higher understanding of right and wrong. And it's heartbreaking.
It really is. Well, it's patently illegal, but I don't think that they care. And each court continues to enjoin the behavior. Will it continue? We'll soon find out. And so far, the Supreme Court has just kicked it down the road. They haven't made a determination, so they've left the injunctions in place. But, we're pinning our hats on. We know the 3 great justices are for human rights and are ethical, but we have 3 that we know are not.
I know.
And so, we're pulling for the handmaid and Chief Justice Roberts. Like, that's where our hope lies. It's like we were having lunch with somebody and she said, we might get 1 or 2 like Republicans. Like, I'm kind of hopeful for Mitch McConnell. And we were like, now we're in trouble when our hope is on that. So when our hope's on the handmaid and Chief Justice Roberts, like, I'm concerned about it. But I also have a little bit of hope. And I keep telling Jennifer, they know they've created a monster. Are they going to try to pull back on the monster? Let's hope.
Let's talk about, though, for all of us that see this for what it is, that aren't indoctrinated into right-wing propaganda, and all of us that are sitting here horrified and heartbroken, how important it is for us to build communities. And I believe you have one of your children or a couple of your children are queer, Marcia. Is that right?
Yeah, they all are. They all claim that title. And right now we go into semantics. What does it mean? And people don't know what it means. So as soon as I had said that, it came out. I got so much hate mail. It was like, you're grooming your kids, as if. And they actually went to, 2 of them went to Crossroads, which was the same school as Elon's daughter, who is trans, went to. So when he blames the school, of course. But anyway, so I got so much hate mail. And when I told my kids, guys, I just want you to know, there's been a lot of hate mail and, you're mentioned in it. And, they're like, work it, mom, work it, mom. If they're getting angry at you, then that's a good thing to do. My eldest child is trans and my son is gay and Julita is fluid. The youngest, my daughter is fluid. And I just feel like they're advanced, actually, human beings is what I feel like. Like when you anthropologically look back at how the human engaged in community and sexual activity, they're just this, according to anthropology, it was just a much more egalitarian and kind of free, probably for survival, free expression of whom you love. And I think all of my kids would say the same thing. Love is love. And if you love someone, that's love. I think, the eldest, Eulela, my eldest child, but they love guys, they love girls, they love. They don't identify as a guy or a girl. They truly are non-binary, but they don't like that term because they said it sort of suggests what they're not rather than what they are, which is why they use trans. I hate the friggin' titles. And I also feel like, why the fuck do people have to claim what they are? Right. If you don't have to claim, tell, hi, I'm a gun toting this. If you don't have to do that, why do you have to walk in and claim who you are? Who the fuck cares? I think even somebody said, look, if Prince can call himself Prince at the time, why can't someone call themselves whatever they want? Who cares? Who cares?
I think you're onto something about like having to claim what you are or not. I'm an atheist, and really like the title atheist becomes this big thing because we live in the Bible Belt and people will be like, oh my God. And really at the end of the day, Marcia and Pumps, everybody is an atheist to every single other religion that they reject. I am exactly where they are on Scientology, on Judaism, on Islam, on Hindu, on Buddhism, on any random cult, Greek mythology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just take it one step further. I also reject Christianity. And I think it's this really weird thing that I would have to say, like label myself as an atheist, because it's not like I just don't have any like supernatural thinking that propels me. Now, if somebody is a Christian light and you get something centering from that, I don't have an issue with that. I take issue with these triple trumper evangelicals that are very anti-gay and bully gay people, institutionalize gay bullying. And I see it here, and I've grown up around it my whole life. And I have always stood up for the rights of your children and for any marginalized group, because I see how cruel white evangelical Christians are in mass. And also, architecture is terrible at the churches. That's just an aside, but I always have to point that out for the record.
It's named Pew for a reason.
And I think it's a grift. I think whenever your pastor has a PJ and he's flying around a private plane and he takes Venmo, I think we all know what's going on. But I do agree that I don't have to claim my heterosexuality to people. Like I had a friend recently and he came out and there was this expectation that he had to go visit every friend group and say, hey, I'm gay. And I was like, hey, fuck that. I didn't have to go on a heterosexual coming out tour. So I understand your kids, the burden that we are putting on everybody to label everything, where basically your kids are wonderful, loving humans. End of story. Or maybe one of them's an asshole. I don't know.
You know what? They're so frigging not. They're so awesome people. They're artists and they're so great. I mean, they were assholes in their teens, I will say, but they're just really great people. And you're talking about this hijacking of Christianity. I mean, it's completely been hijacked by a certain type of group. So even if someone does say, I'm a Christian, then the people who are experiencing right-wing Christians will be like, oh my God, they've entered the room. And that's not fair either. I mean, it's just like, again, use whatever you need to get you through life. And I mean, on some level, and I know that I'll get hate mail for this too, but really wasn't God like the original non-binary? Like on some level, really, the original trans would be the idea of God, right? Incorporating all things female and all things male. And so, and they sort of broached that a wee tiny bit in Conclave, which is an interesting movie if you guys haven't seen it.
I loved it.
But yeah, right. But I mean, it's like once you get rid of gender for God, even though in the Christian world and many, many worlds it's a masculine identity, but in truth, there was some Senate reason they were trying to pin him down to go, but is God a man? Is God a man? He's like, you couldn't say, because it's not. It's in whatever God is, whatever that force of energy and love and whatever it is, it's certainly representative of both.
I mean,
here we are, like it's like 10 o'clock.
I love that, and I wish that were more streamlined. I think that the question, and this might be another podcast entirely, is, I do think the larger issue is that there is a white people Christian problem in this country. And I think we kind of have to talk about it, because when you look at Trump's base and you look at evangelicals, it's something like over 90% voted for Trump. And everybody's getting their information from a book, all the same book. And in this book, it tells you how you can treat your slaves. And these same Christians are the one that had slaves. And so I used to always feel like we can't be so critical about religion and stuff. But now that we're here, we've arrived at fascism, democracy's declining. And then Trump said recently, like, he wanted to sniff out like people that had a anti-Christian bias. And I was like, oh my God, I totally have that. I'm right here. Come get me. I definitely have a bias towards it. And I definitely think that there's some Christian light friends that I have who don't take the Bible literally. But you probably live on the coast in LA or New York, the whole swaths of America, there's this mega church culture, purity culture, very binary culture, and it discourages critical thinking. And I believe that this set the psychological soil for these people to be primed to worship Trump. And so I do think we need to be more critical of it. And those Christians who don't take the Bible word for word, but it's a guiding principle in their life, will join in every statement that I just had, because they personally wouldn't be offended by that. They wouldn't feel the need to get defensive of it.
But any far right, any evangelical group, no matter what country you live in, no matter the religion, any of those does not encourage critical thinking, because they all encourage sort of a following of this dictatorial idea and interpretation of what God is. And that's, just a red flag, because it's not, you began talking about this conversation, talking about community and building community. And, that's so important, that we have to build community. And this is a community that's being exclusive. I'm curious as to when, I think Trump just said the other day that he wasn't a Christian. Didn't that float around the world, that he, in some conversation he had said or mumbled, I don't know what it was, so some conversation. But I just can't wait for those people to wake up and see what's happening. And maybe they never will. I mean, people who deeply believe in ideas of hatred will probably stick to them, even if their own family is at, risk of harm.
Marcia, I too keep building in my mind. I keep building and creating this aha moment to get me through this Trumpism and this fascist takeover. And I was thinking this morning in the shower, I thought, we're going to get to that aha moment where all of these triple Trumpers are going to be like, oh my God, we screwed up. I'm so sorry. And then I thought, they're never going to. They're always going to be in propaganda. This propaganda is always going to exist. They're just going to keep moving in the goalposts. Maybe we peel off 10% of them that actually have buyer's remorse, but I had to realize, and maybe this is a really bad character defect in me, and I'll admit that, but I really want to be like, fucking told you guys. I just want that moment. And again, that's a very childish impulse that I feel, but I feel that because we worked so hard campaigning for Kamala and podcasted our hearts out trying to, get the message out there to fight the good fight. And then you have these triple Trumpers, and it makes you lose your faith in humanity. And I just want to have a really immature told you so moment.
I think about all these people who've been over the years kind of put in harm's way, and yet they still sort of sing in their prison cell, or kind of like that thing. What is that? The power of resistance. And that's where we need to find, where do we go to truly resist and make a difference? What groups do we join? What groups do we fund? Because that's where it's going to happen. And they need it. Glisten is one of the LGBTQ friendly groups. There's a lot out there, like the Family Equality. I think we just have to try to fund those groups and stand up for those groups however we can, and also just tell the really simple stories. I'm just a mom who loves my kids no matter what they are. What is the choice? I guess the choice is what Musk made. You don't see your kids. You don't have family. But I'm I don't care who it is. Just bring them home for Thanksgiving so we can all have a good time and play Rummy Cube.
Right.
So we can play games and I can kick your ass in bananagrams. Bring diversity of people to the table. And I don't know, I'm just sort of blabbing away here, waiting for you guys to cut in and jump in.
Marcia, are you in the closet?
I am. I am. Despite my middle name, I'm in the closet. Yeah.
Marcia Gay.
Does it sound all right? Does it sound?
No, it sounds great. I just noticed
know.
the clothes behind you when she said that. I have no powers of observation.
Addie.
Hey ladies, did you know that one of the most common complaints from women about their sexual health is a frustratingly low libido? Our sex drives can decline, but it's also treatable. Addie or flibanserin is FDA approved and has been clinically proven to increase sexual desire in certain premenopausal women who are bothered by a low libido. So if you feel like you've lost your desire and you want to get it back, stop falling for the snake oils and ask your doctor today about Addie. Go to Addie.com. That's ADDYI.com
Addie is for premenopausal women with acquired generalized hypoactive sexual desire disorder, HSDD, who have not had problems with low sexual desire in the past, who have low sexual desire no matter the type of sexual activity, the situation, or the sexual partner. The low sexual desire is troubling to them and is not due to a medical or mental health problem, problems in the relationship, or medicine or other drug use. Addie is not for use in men or to enhance sexual performance. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is increased if you drink 1 to 2 standard alcoholic drinks close in time to your Addie dose. Wait at least 2 hours after drinking before taking Addie at bedtime. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is also increased if you take certain prescriptions, over-the-counter or herbal medications, or have liver problems. Low blood pressure and fainting can happen when you take Addie even if you don't drink alcohol or take other medicines. Do not take if you are allergic to any of the ingredients in Addie. Allergic reactions may include hives, itching or trouble breathing. Sleepiness, sometimes serious, can occur. Common side effects include dizziness, nausea, tiredness, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, and dry mouth. See full PI and medication guide, including box warning at addie.com/PI or call 844-PINK-PILL.
Ask your doctor about Addie today. That's ADDYI.com. You know, Pumps, who doesn't love the good things in life? I love a little luxury, but when I'm trying to revamp my wardrobe, it can be so expensive. This is why I personally go to Quince, and I personally love their Mongolian cashmere sweaters.
I love everything that Quince does. First of all, the washable silk tank tops, they're my favorite because they are wash and wear and they look great every time. I also love the jewelry they have, 14 karat gold jewelry that is divine.
The best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to all of us. Listener, give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/hadit for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/hadit to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/hadit. Okay, Marcia, now we're going to play a game with you called Had It or Hit It. Okay. Oh my God. Welcome to Had It or Hit It. I would hit it. Had it. I hit it every day, sometimes twice a day. All right. Had it or hit it, gender reveal parties.
I fucking hate them.
Hate.
Sorry. Hate it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're so, and you know, when you think about it right now, we like for your kids, for your non-binary kid, it would be like jokes on you. Now we need to have another gender reveal party.
Can I just tell you, before my kids, I probably would have been the person going, let's wrap the toilet paper around her belly and see how big she is. And like all the traditions. Like I truly see fun in those sometimes. Like I'm the person that you guys go, cringy, like I'm a little cringy. And so I would have done all that. I would have thought, oh, how sweet, until my kids educated me. And God, that education is just so valuable. It literally will make me want to cry because I think, perspective. I just was so in my own perspective that I never would have thought outside my perspective. So to think of someone at a gender reveal party with someone going, it's a boy, it's a girl, whatever, what is like as if A, celebrating one over the other, and B, suggesting that's all there is. Right. You know, it's like, okay, now I know. Keep coming at me, kids. Keep coming at me.
Okay. Had it or hit it, book banning.
Oh, had it, hate it. Okay, first of all, you know, I do this little podcast for kids, right? It's this children's, and we tell stories, and most of them are Goldilocks or stories that you know. We do try to give the girls agency because I don't know if you've noticed, but in all of the fairy tales, the king goes, "You'll marry my son." She's like, "Okay, okay, I will. That makes me happy." And the prince goes, "I want you." She's like, "Okay, I lost your shoe. I want you." "Oh, okay, anything to get away from my stepmom." So we try to give the girls a little bit of agency. But recently, I noticed that my friend Julianne Moore's book, Freckle Face
that was crazy.
Strawberry, was banned. And I like immediately bought that book and read it. I'm like, what the hell's this? Is literally a freckle-faced girl who is learning to love herself as a freckle-faced. Why is this book banned?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Because
it's crazy.
I just think, you know, history is never good to the book banners. It never ends well. And again, here's my pettiness, Marcia and Pumps. I want that moment. I want the big reveal to go, I fucking told you guys.
You're ready.
I don't think I'm going to get it. Okay. Had it or hit it, camping.
Oh, I love camping.
That surprises me that you're a camper.
It doesn't mean I can kind of get a slight little outdoorsy, crunchy vibe from you, Marcia.
You do? Can you pitch a tent?
Yeah, of course I can pitch a tent.
Impressed.
But I do bring the it's not a like blow up, but it's like you open it up and it like fills with air, and then you close the little tube, and then it's like keeps your body warmer. Like that's really, really important. But we used to go camping on the Delaware Water Gap all the time. I know you two are going to do. I want to hear how much you hate camping because it's fantastic. And I hate all those bugs. I hate the mosquitoes. I hate all that. Snakes. I hate it. But I do like camping. There's just something about getting out there. Like, okay, here's maybe also why. I mean, I always liked camping, but when I realized that my marriage was going south, I think I'd always depended on a dude to camp with, right?
Right.
And so, like, now how would I ever camp? And so I hated that. I hated that in me. I was like, ooh, what kind of person you're going to be? So I took my kids up to Yosemite, and there's the camp is tents you can go into, but we went to something called housekeeping camp, which was just these sort of cinder blocks, and I liked it because you could light a fire. I love like the hearth, the outdoor fire. So we went camping up there, and we brought all of our bikes, and it's a haul it in, haul it out. It's a lot of work, but I loved it. And then later I rented a 31-foot double pop-out RV, and I drove it myself.
Marcia Gay.
Can you imagine? You're driving down the street.
Marcia Gay. Marcia Gay. This sounds a little lesbian-like activity over there.
I'm literally an honorary lesbian. So I drove it to, what was it called? The Circus in Las Vegas, right? So because we wanted to go, we stopped at Vegas first. So we go there, and there's a camping area for the RVs, and it's actually nicer than the freaking circus hotel place. So we go there, and my publicist had said, "Oh, you guys, Yoko Ono is going to be at like the opening of the Cirque du Soleil love thing. Do you want to go?" We're like, "Hell yeah, we want to go meet Yoko Ono." You're kidding? So we grabbed from that RV whatever little kitten heels I might have packed, and we put things together all cute, and we came out with our hair done, all me and my kids, and we like tripped across the little circus thing, and we went into this love show at Cirque du Soleil. It was hysterical. We were like, what the hell is going on?
Right, what's going on with these people?
That little sequin dress she got on.
I love it. Okay, last one. Had it or hit it, gentle parenting.
Had it.
Yes, Marcia.
Yes, had it.
Yes, I totally agree with you on this.
It's annoying because at some point, like, here's the thing I used to always say to my kids. Absolutely not. Like that would make my voice deeper because you read those books. Forgive me about like pet training, and when your voice is deeper, you're like the alpha one. But it would be so I needed something so defined. If they would do something like, let's say, bite or want to hit, but absolutely not. And I would just like call it, and then they get attention because they're a little bit afraid. I don't want to make them afraid of me. But I need to put a marker there. This is not something you do. And honey, I see people in the stores and the grocery stores everywhere. I need to absolutely not their kids because it's annoying. What is the standard?
Well, and
kids,
these
he's
kids are going to be miserable adults. I mean, they're going to make everyone miserable around them because they have no idea how to assimilate, and then not everything is about them.
Right.
And I think you have to start teaching your kids how to be adults. Life is profoundly disappointing. The majority of the time, it's how you manage that disappointment.
Right.
If you give that disappointment from a 1 to 10, if you give it a 10 all the time, you're going to be a basket case. But if you give it a 0.5 or a 1, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, yeah, I get disappointed all the time. My mother taught me this. My father taught me this. Life's disappointing.
Yeah.
And
it goes on too long. Also, this thing of like, I know you're having a meltdown and I know you're feeling sad. Okay, should we talk about? Oh, I hear you. I hear 20 frigging minutes goes by and you're just like, we've just given audience to this. It's like a show is what it feels like. It feels performative at times of what a great parent I can be. So my dad was not the gentlest person in the world. I love boundaries.
I do
for
too.
sure. But by the way, it's 20 minutes of performing. How are you feeling about your navel is not my cup of tea.
No, it's not going to end well.
No. Do you also come from was your dad like not gentle?
Oh, I
No.
mean, there was
My mom.
zero gentle parenting. I mean, I got spanked with a belt. But that's just like, my dad was in the Vietnam War. He's a baby boomer. He's a loving, great dad. But I mean, it was just, we were disciplined and I was kind of scared of him.
Yeah.
And that fear was a really good motivator that kept me in line a little bit.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time with my girlfriends. Like, we feared our parents. Like, we feared their disappointment. We feared punishment. We feared what they would do to us. And my mom was the hard person, not really my dad. But now there's it's almost the reverse. Like, the parents are afraid of the kid a little bit. It's a weird flip of dynamic,
Marcia,
I feel
let me share this with you. Now, I think my dad that was that generation. I think it's too far. I think the gentle parents are way too far to the other extreme. I think somewhere in the middle is correct. And I've never spanked my kids, not one time. But my oldest son, he goes to Syracuse now. He's a senior in college. But when he was in high school, I get this phone call from this mother, and he had a sleepover. She calls me and she said, I just want you to know, I just woke the boys up and I was cleaning the upstairs game room and I found a bottle of vodka under the ottoman. And I said, was it empty? And she said, yes. So Dylan comes home and I was like, I don't know if I'm more angry that you drank vodka or if I'm more pissed off that you didn't have the decency to hide that vodka 4 doors down in the neighbor's trash can to make sure nobody could track it back to you. Just how you were so brazen about, yeah, I drank and who cares? That I think pisses me off more than the vodka. The vodka is what high school students do, but the fact that you weren't scared enough to go hide it, you have the decency to try to lie about it, that pisses me off.
Stick it under, of all things, the ottoman. The ottoman. It had to be the ottoman, right?
Yeah. Well, Marcia, this has been so great. I'm so happy that you joined us and you're welcome back anytime. And I want you to tell our listeners, a lot of our listeners have toddlers and they use our podcast to escape from the insanity of raising toddlers, and tell them about your podcast.
Our podcast is called Snorries, Snoriezz. And my niece, Natalie, and I, she's an adult, are the Snorri godmothers. And we take the kids through a mindful bedtime 30-minute routine. It starts with positive affirmations that are always, affirmations start like, I am this, I am kind to my friends in school, or I like picking up my clothing, or I don't hide my vodka under the ottoman. It starts, and so it's about teaching the kids that, because in the one little minute before you fall asleep, your brain is in this super receptive place, or like that little window before sleep. It's receptive to negativity and it's receptive to positive things. So if you tell yourself these nice things before you're going to sleep, it's a really helpful thing. But also for me, I didn't really learn how to speak kindly to myself as a kid. So I think we're trying to teach kids how to speak kindly to themselves, and that's okay to say, I like myself, I like who I am. Then we sort of settle them down with making them present in the room. And then we do a story like Goldilocks or Little Red Riding Hood, or hopefully Freckle-Faced Strawberry. Just a really beautiful little story. The feedback that we get is parents are going, thank you for giving me my nights back. Mm-hmm. Thank you for this beautiful moment of bonding, if they choose to do it with their kid. And then I had my night back. And so that's kind of, in a really fast nutshell, what I've been doing. It's a labor of love and passion. And I love storytelling and I love kids. And I just want to help ground them at night and ground them in the day to be the best they can be and have amazing sleep. The value of sleep is so effing underrated. Yeah, underrated.
I think I could benefit from
I know. I was just thinking I might download this for myself.
I really do, because I think you're so right. As an adult, I get into that, the hamster running in the middle of the night, and I agree with you. When I center myself and try to think good thoughts as I'm lulling myself to sleep, my next day is so much better. But if that hamster's running and it's going crazy, oh my God, I'm a disaster the next day.
You two are probably like this. Can you believe it? Texting each other. Can you believe this is happening? We're going to talk about this. You're probably always so full of the energy of the resistance that you're giving to so many people, and the voice for resistance that you're giving to so many people. But it is helpful to just, unplug for that little bit. And meantime, your brain at night You know the guy, I always want to say Mendeleev, but it's not Mendeleev, the Russian dude who figured out the periodic tables. He did it in a nap. He had it almost completely done, takes a nap, wakes up and go, I know what to do, because the brain is putting together all of this stuff when you're asleep. It's amazing.
I love that. This has just been amazing. Marcia Gay Harden, we love having you on. I've had it to do a little petty grievance, big grievance, and I love this nighttime routine. I'm definitely going to try
I'm
Snorri's.
going to too.
I think as an adult, it's fun to take your mind back to the basics of childhood stories.
Yep, the adults love it. They do. They fall asleep to it.
I love it. All right, thanks, Marcia.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Marcia.
thank you,
It was
ladies.
great meeting you.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, she's great.
Here's the deal. I've always really, 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 really liked her. I've always watched her shows.
Yeah.
She seems like the most normal person you could ever meet. Like, you would never know she's won an Oscar. She just seems like somebody that could sit down and you could just bullshit with and really, she's smart.
I think she's
She's
normal, but
insightful.
I think she seems cooler than normal.
Well, she's cooler than us.
Yeah,
for sure.
like she's you can tell she's very present.
Yes.
You can tell she's very mindful. You can tell she's very intellectual.
Yeah.
And the humility to sit there and say that, she thought about everything being this way when she was younger, and then her kids taught her this. It shows the evolution. So I think Marcia's a little cooler than normal. Now, down to earth, yes, sitting there talking to us.
No, she's way cooler than us. You know what I liked what she said is that her kids taught her perspective, because that's so true. And I remember having a therapy session and I was going on and on about what I wanted my child, what I wanted Sam to do. And the therapist was like, it's not you. You don't get to decide your path. And it taught me so, it was an aha moment, which sounds stupid, but your kids give you perspective if you're lucky.
Yeah, and I do think that that's one of the biggest dangers of parenting, where a parent projects
Oh, yeah.
what their child needs to do. Now, we can guide, but when they here's your script and here's what you have to do, at some point that child is going to have to go through the self-discovery that the parent suppressed, because the child had to go on the parent's itinerary and not their own.
Right. Well,
I think you went
I
through
was
that,
going to
did
say,
you not?
have you ever known anybody that was more
Didn't
on
your
that?
mother script your life up until a few years ago? Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. I'll just say this, Kylie. Every time I catch myself in this screen, I need a lot of help here today.
Here's the deal, Angie. All of the, I can blot your face. We can fix the eyeliner. I just want to leave the listener with what happened at the beginning.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, I couldn't even clap us in.
We can go get some new injections. You can get those, your roots blonde. We can wipe off the JD Vance smoky eye.
But at the end of the day, you can't remember to clap us in.
Yeah, that was a big screw up. Really all right, listen. This is our Feel Good podcast, our long format on Tuesdays and Thursdays, every single day, twice a day. If you just want to dabble in the news, it's called iHip News on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Short, digestible ways to stay engaged, because you cannot surrender to fascism. And we have a Substack and merch and a bunch of other stuff. Pumps, tell them.
We will see you next Tuesday and Thursday.
I'll tell you what I've had it with. Let's hear it. I've had it with that. Listen up, patriots, gaytriots, and natriots. We have a new podcast that has dropped. It's called iHip News. It's Monday through Friday, every day, 15 to 20-minute hot takes on the political landscape of the United States of America, always served with a side of petty grievances.
We are on all the available platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever you get your podcasts, and YouTube.
Please go rate, subscribe, and review so that we will chart upwards with America's greatest legal mind. Pumps, what does an eagle say?
Caw-caw!
A little bit more enthusiasm.
Caw-caw!
That's it. That's
Caw-caw!
the patriotism that this country needs right there.